got this amount of money and I want to buy a share in a racehorse for you.
To go racing together, and what a brilliant horse to have done that with.
What will be, but you've got to soak it in while it's here.
Right, it's delighted to be joined by Christian Williams and Richard Bedford in the Queens in Lambourne. Been schooling Kitty's Light this morning. How'd that go, Chris? How are your thoughts?
Nice away day today. He's been in great form since Cheltenham, so just great to good 4-week break since Cheltenham. So good to put him on the lorry and show him something different.
Yeah, and obviously that was his first time seeing the national fences this morning. All right, he's jumping. Obviously, as a stat came out yesterday that he actually makes up time at his fences, and some people have said he can be a bit lazy at them. But do you think he'll be all right around the Grand National fences?
Yeah, I hope so. I don't want to sit here and say that he's gonna, jump every fence well. Just hope for a little bit of luck in the race, but I wouldn't jump plenty of fences in the past, running plenty of big races, 2 Scottish Nationals, 3 Bet365 Gold Cups, Ida Chase, 2 Coral Chases, 2 Coral Gold Cups. So he's plenty of experience, plenty of runners in the races over big park fences, and it's just not as much of a test as it was now, the fence size. So fingers crossed, he has a little bit of luck and away to go.
Yeah, he's took you on some journey, Rich, ain't he?
I mean, yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, way further than I ever imagined. So just enjoying days like today. I'm trying to enjoy the whole experience, which is why I said come down, enjoy the schooling and the pre-gallops, thinking that it might not happen again. So try and enjoy every bit of it leading up to the race. And
so how did it come about then? You getting involved with Chris and getting kitties. How did that all come about?
I had a friend who, when Chris took his licence out, Hugh Downs, who sadly passed away now. And he had a horse called 50 Shades with Christian, and he'd invited me to the races one day. So back at, I think it was Newton Abbott in 2018, I first met Chris and come in and was speaking to him, and I said to him, look, at one point, I'll have a horse with you, I'm sure he hears it all the time, but I said, I will buy a share in a horse with you. I was just sort of getting the business going at the time, so I wanted to wait a little bit. And then lockdown come. Sadly, my mum passed away suddenly, and I was sort of sitting there, as we all were, with nothing to do in lockdown. I was worried that my dad had nothing to do in lockdown, so I've said, I've got to go and buy a racehorse. Really, obviously I'd had Christian's number. I'd been introduced to him before, so I phoned Christian up and I said, I want to buy a half share in a racehorse with you, right? Got this amount of money and I want to buy a share in a racehorse for you. And we actually had, at the time, there was another horse who was a pointer who ended up not being very good, that we had sort of agreed that I was going to take a half share on, put the phone down, and then maybe like 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, I got a call off him saying, look, if you don't want that one, I've actually got another one that's ready to go on, probably be at the beginning of the 1st of July, the first when it reopened. And he went, you have to ignore its form and its bumper run, but I really like it. So I can do this, or if you want, I'll sell you a half share in Kitty's Light. But I'll leave you to think about it. Take a few days and think about it. And I nearly didn't do it. I nearly went with the other one. I was sitting there looking at it going, I'm not sure, this one seems a safer bet, the points for it. And then what swung it for me, obviously Chris had said to me that it goes well at home. Really what swung it for me was that it was going to be ready on the 1st of July. It was buying the fanny, and I thought, my dad wants to go racing, I want to go racing, we're cooped up in the house, it's going to be... So I said, phoned him back, said, you know what, we'll have the half share in Kitty's Light. So, yeah, it's one of the best businesses.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best business decisions you've probably made as well.
Yeah, you don't do it for that, but it's worked out okay. We can say that.
So let's look at some of them big days that you had there, and obviously Ida Chase Day, which you didn't even go to. Tell us a story about that, and obviously let everyone know what price you got on the Ida Chase.
No, so I Kempton's our local track, and we went. I've always enjoyed going to Kempton, and we were invited down to Kempton to watch it from Kempton, and Chris was going with Captain Ord. He's also one of my. I love Captain Ord as a horse in the yard, so I thought it'd be really good to go and watch it from there. And I was feeling the pressure that day. That was one time we had a plan, and it was all in really, right? And halfway round, I was it was going very wrong, but we did okay on the and we had a few nice, tidy early bets there.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big gambler, but I knew that was probably his race. If there was ever going to be a big race, it was going to be the Ida that suited him. We hadn't exposed him over that trip, and we were fairly as confident as you can be going into that race. Yeah. Really.
You must have been loving it that day. Obviously, you had Captain Ord at Kempton, you had Kitties up there, and then seeing him stay on the hill up at Newcastle, and then I bet your mind was ticking then, weren't it? Thinking, what else can you plot him up for?
No, it was great. It was a wonderful day. We had a plan to win my wings. Won the 2 races the year before, Ida Chase and the Scottish National, Coral Scottish National. So we thought at the start of the following season, wouldn't it be wonderful if Kitty's Light could do the same as the mare did. And Kitty was just unlucky the Scottish National year before to bump into her. If she wasn't in the race, he'd have probably won that fairly handily. But it was great then last year that he managed to get those wins, because he was a little bit the bridesmaid and he was earning great prize money. We didn't really have a plan with him, but he was still paying his way. But then he showed everyone last year what he could do. I think that his jumping came strong last year. He probably strengthened up, I'd say. He got to a point in his, got to a certain age maybe with everything, physically just started to fall into place. And his jumping became strong and a little bit rusty at Newcastle, but he was obviously brilliant then in Adair.
And then obviously a week later, then after the Coral Scottish National, you back him up then for the Bet365 Gold Cup, and then obviously Jack was just travelling so well that day. Like you both, I know you were both there that day. It was an incredible day at Sandown, but what a ride Jack gave it, and basically it was just you knew he'd won turning for home, didn't you?
Yeah, that was just a fun day, Sandown. It really is. I know it was a big race, but it was. We really thought we could win the Scottish National there. We'd won it the year before. We had a wonderful time. The Kitty's Lights owners without winning it. I was obviously lucky to train the winner that year as well. But the boys still had a great day at Ayr the following season, and it was great that they got their day then at Ayr. There's a bit of pressure on the day. We put ourselves under a bit of pressure, didn't we, Rich? And then Sandown then was just...
it was a big event. It's to get your name on the board like that. So that was the pressure day, and the Sandown was more... It was a bonus. We knew it was a bonus. The horse owed us nothing, and if Jack had not been happy, he'd have pulled him up halfway round, and we'd have all still been very happy with it, the way the season had gone, more than happy. So, it was a huge bonus. I definitely enjoyed watching the Bet365 more than the Scottish National, because I can't remember half of the Scottish National. I remember shutting my eyes at a couple of moments. So, I did try and enjoy the Bet365 a little bit more. And I've actually been to Sandown since now, and to see his name on the board. I used to go there as a kid, so it's all very weird now seeing Kitty's Light and our name up there. So it righted a wrong, the Bet365 from a couple of years earlier.
So how long after Kitty's winning the Bet365 did you start thinking, right, I'm going for the National next year? So was it 2 seconds, 3 seconds after you crossed the line there you started thinking about the National?
I was kind of... No, I didn't. I think we took a bit of time on that. And then we've always had a thing where we've met early in the season, and Gareth, as part of the All-Stars owners team, we've all met up and sort of put a plan together. And we did the same thing, and we just decided that if it is any year we were going to do it, Chris said, we've got to do it now. So... and then we put the plan together, and obviously then they reduced it to 34 runners after we put the plan together. So that put us on a little bit more of a worrying, but hopefully we're good now. But it's I can't say it's my dream, because I never even thought I'd get anywhere near it. So I was quite happy. It's already exceeded where I needed to get to, but I think it's just nice to. It's much for the horse, the horse has done everything just to give him that one go, and see what you can do.
Right, the big day's approaching then, Chris. this, obviously you finished second in the National and fifth. Would this be your biggest achievement in racing if Kitties was to win the Grand National?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I've been so lucky. In 5 or 6 years, won a Welsh National, 2 Scottish Nationals, Coral Chase at Kempton, 2 Ida Chase. So we've been, lucky and privileged to have found the horses that we got. But the hobby, obviously, Aintree's the big one. The owners, deserve a season leading into the big race. The weights, the schooling over the fences here. So it's a wonderful. It's not just the day. It's it's the season journey really. And I was saying, you get your. I always remember commentaries. You get special commentaries. And when Potter's Corner won the Welsh National, I think the commentator that day called him at the third last. Potter's Corner for Wales. You always remember. And then with Kitty's Light, I think Simon Holt jumping the last on the back. Said picked up well Kitty's Light was going, and they're great, and be great that if we get a good commentary now at Aintree.
Yeah. I could probably talk you through all of Simon Holt's commentary for the amount of time I watched that video.
It was absolutely immense, weren't it? Like, oh, Kitty's Light is coming.
It was, I think I've definitely watched it 100+ times since. It's a selection to watch. And I'm not sad. It's very sad the amount of times I've watched it. You've got to, as you say, it's memories, and it was. Well,
I think if Kitties goes and does it at Liverpool in the Grand National, I think you will double the amount of views that you've watched that. Kitties Light.
we might be watching that for a few weeks.
So let's have a look at so Kitty's in the ground. She's 38. He's 38 on the list at the minute. You're 100% sure you think you're going to get in?
He's 36 now.
36
There's 2
now.
that come out, so I don't think 100% sure, but I think we're fairly confident now. We're already at a point where we're in a ballot with the 2 above us, so we'd be very, very unlucky. I think we were extremely worried about it a month ago. I probably annoyed Chris many a time with texts about whether we're going to get in or not, but less so recently, so fingers crossed we should be okay.
And obviously there's been a lot of rain, Chris, recently. Probably Kitty's best form is on better surface. Heavy ground, which probably going to be in Liverpool. Any concerns with that?
Yeah, I think it'd be hard to call it now, but he seems. I think he's got fairly adaptable now, and his jumping's good, and he probably handles softer ground. It'd be hard to judge. Thought he travelled through it okay at Cheltenham. Wasn't really prepped for the race. Didn't have a great run leading into Cheltenham. Everything fell into place about a fortnight before, so we hadn't really, squeezed him or worked him for that race. And he's had a great prep for Aintree, so I wouldn't be using that as a negative. No, just we're obviously with the horse. The owners, it's wonderful when the horse wins, but as myself as a trainer, we spend every day with the horse. Just be wonderful if he goes around there, tries his best. Be great if he finished in the first 6, but he's got good experience in big races. Never usually lets us down, and he's just a good horse and looks like a national type.
Do you know where you're going to watch it from yet?
No, I mean, I'll probably sit next to Richard somewhere and his father and Gareth. No, we'll, be brave there, watch it together, enjoy it together, rather than going off and hiding and having to celebrate on your own. Be nice to, all stand as a group and watch him together.
And it's nice as well for you as well. Your family's all coming up as well. So there, Charlotte's going to be there, Betsy, Tilly are going to be up there as well. So that's going to be really nice as well for you to have all your family around. Obviously, your family's all going to be there as well. So a nice family occasion on probably the biggest race of the year.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, Rich. And they're building memories. Richard's, family being great, good supporters of ours. His father, great man, and it's wonderful of. The horse they ended up buying in memory of their mother, so to spend more time together, to go racing together, and what a brilliant horse to have done that with. Yeah,
Brian, your dad, obviously knowing well from going racing, he's gonna be a nervous wreck on that day.
I think he's in. Yeah, I'm getting calls like 3 times a day now about this one's out, that one's out, or this one. I think it's. I said it, we would have been very happy if we'd had a winner at Stratford or Plumpton when we first bought Kitties, and it's taken him to another level. And I think also part of it is the journey is with other people as well. So with Gareth and the All Stars, just making so many friends through it. It's been brilliant, and Dad goes off racing on his own and enjoys every bit of it. You've seen him at races many a time. It's just as Chris has said, we just want to enjoy every bit of it, and what will be, but you've got to soak it in while it's here.
I think as well, another nice part of it as well is the relationship you two have with each other. Obviously, sort of off camera as well. Like it's quite a good relationship you have, isn't it? The way you talk to each other, the way you plan things, and obviously there's quite a few WhatsApp messages fly around between the both of you.
I don't know who annoys each other more. He'd probably say I annoy him more, but I reckon he annoys me more. He does like to wind me up. You know when he's going to wind up. But it's all great banter and part of the fun. And we've had some good fun trips and got to know each other so well over the last few years, and trips over to Ireland and enjoyed the racing. And so yeah, I mean, I love it as a sport. So the fully invest into what Chris has done and enjoy watching all of his other horses run, and a bit of banter is always good. You know, you've got to enjoy it.
Is that right? Yeah.
No, great. Yeah, we have good fun. I had a bit of fun the other day. Declared Kitty's Light for Cheltenham the night before, and I think Richard then probably gets access to declarations tracking at 8 o'clock, and I left the tongue-tied cheek pieces off by having a bit of fun with the boys in the yard. By 8 minutes past 8, I think I had 8 missed calls and an essay on cheek pieces and tongue ties.
Yeah, lovely way to wake up, panicking me.
What's the Welshman doing to me?
Yeah.
And the final part of the jigsaw is obviously Jack. He's obviously coming a long way over the last few years. Obviously, you sponsor Jack, and Chris, you brought him through now, and obviously he's got a job at Pipes as well. It's going to be a big day for Jack, isn't it?
No, yeah, big day for us all. And you know, Jack's a wonderful jockey. Started coming into the yard when he was 14 or 15, and you knew straight away just had a special talent. And you know, like those natural football players, rugby players, golfers. You know, not many of them have just got it, but he was very natural and strong rider. Got a lovely video of him cantering Kitty's Light on the beach. I think Jack was 15 and Kitty's is a 2-year-old, so they've come through together. And obviously the main thing around the Sandown last year was Jack could ride him, so if he wasn't happy, he knows the horse very well. But no, Jack will enjoy the day. Very cool, and it's great to you know, great that he can ride him in the greatest race.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be a special day all round, and obviously I wish you all the best. I'm going to be there with you on the Saturday, so yeah. Let's fingers crossed that get round safely and maybe come over in front.
Yeah, brilliant.
Cheers, lads. Thanks very much. Nice one.
Cheers.